Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining our inaugural virtual mentor match or mentor match. Hopefully, and someday it will be in person. Can everyone see my screen? Can you give me a thumbs up? Perfect.
Yes.
Awesome. So I just wanted to let you all know that this first portion of our program will be recorded. So if you have any problems with that, please let us know now. But hopefully this will be helpful so that in the future you can come back and listen to this first portion of our presentation. So welcome again to the ISPE Mid-Year Mentor Match. We're so glad that you're here. Just as a beginning, to let you know what to expect for this event, we have an agenda here. I will be providing a brief introduction to the mentor match, and then you will be hearing from our esteemed colleagues and ISPEs about mentorship, both Dr. Lowray and Dr. Sturmer. And then after the introductory session, we will then go into speed mentoring rounds, matching rounds, and Chris will give you a brief introduction to that, and then we'll have the speed matching, and then a discussion and wrap up at the very end. After a year of COVID, you can probably know that we'll say, please mute your line when you're not speaking and unmute when you're ready to speak. We will kindly remind you you're muted, which happens to me all the time if you are. You can hear I have a puppy in the background, so I will be muted once I'm done talking. For the mentors that just joined, if you could please place the word mentor next to your Zoom name. I have the example here for me. If you are not able to attend the speed matching rounds, please don't put that in your name. Chris is in the background while I'm speaking, trying to put everyone into breakout rooms for the matching, and it helps to have all the mentors labeled. So for those who are staying for the entirety, please put mentor in front of your name. If you have questions, please send us a message through the chat function, and we'll help you. And Chris will give you a bit more details about the logistics of the matching round when we get to that portion of the session. And again, this session's being recorded, and we will make the slides available after the event on the ISPE Exchange. So you're going to be hearing about mentorship today, which is exciting. It's a dear topic to my heart. But oftentimes we get a little bit confused about what mentorship is. And so hopefully we can enlighten you all mentees and mentors through this session today about what makes a good mentor and some pearls on mentorship. I thought this was a nice little graphic about some of the things that a mentor can give you in your professional career. It's not just coaching or providing feedback on a paper, but it also can help you give advice, or if you need motivation or direction. So I hope that through this event, at least it starts getting you thinking about mentorship, and maybe you will find a good mentor through our event. You'll be hearing from Dr. Lowray and Dr. Sturmer, who come from academic backgrounds about mentorship. I am in industry. I started in academia and moved over. And I will say that I have valued all of the mentors throughout my career, both in industry and in academia, and also in government. So I would encourage you to think outside of your sector. And if you are like me in an industry, definitely mentorship is still of value. And I would encourage you to seek out mentors in ISPE to help you along the way. Often, with my multiple mentors, my frequency of engagement with them varies depending on where I have been in my career. So sometimes I'm seeking out their advice often. Sometimes it could be a year, 2 years, and I haven't had to engage with them, or there hasn't, it's just not needed. But I know that I have my mentors for a lifetime, and I hope that you can find some mentors to help you too. I would encourage you all to be proactive. I have definitely sought out people who I thought would be a good mentor. They're not going to find you often, but you can find them, so seek them out. And last but not least, pay it forward, please, for the mentors. You've probably gotten to where you are because you had good mentorship. So think about people who might be junior or might need a mentor, and pay it forward, because that's how, you know, the world goes round. So this is since this is an ISPE event, this is where I plug ISPE and the ISPE Mentor Match. Vin will also be talking about this a little bit when he gets into the details, but we are in ISPE are committed to professional development, and the Mentor Match is an online networking and career development tool. It offers mentoring by senior ISPE members. It's volunteer, but you can go into the simple online mentor match module and match up with a mentor. And we have a screenshot here. You do need to go into the ISPE exchange and create a profile. But once you do that, you can go in and you can see who might have been signed up for as a mentee or a mentor and sign up. And I encourage all of you, I know there's some people who are on this event that haven't been into our ISPE exchange or haven't done the mentor match, and I encourage you after this event to go in and put your profile in there so that you might be able to find a mentor or mentee. This is just a graph of, you know, we started the mentor match back in 2019, and you can see how many mentees have signed up and how many mentors. We're still working on these active relationships, but you know, we're getting there. So again, this is the plug for those of you who haven't gone into the ISPE exchange and signed up, please do so that we can get more matches. And this is another event that we have that's going to be hopefully successful in helping to find people who can be mentor mentee partners. So now I would like to pass it off to Dr. Loray, who is an associate professor of medicine and epidemiology at UPenn, and he will provide you some tips about a productive mentor-mentee relationship.
Emily, thank you. And thank to all the members of the membership committee for really all of this great work in putting this together. What Emily and the membership committee have asked me to talk about, since this is a virtual mentor-mentee match, was to provide you with some thoughts on how to establish a really productive mentor-mentee relationship. Just as means of background, I am in academia, as Emily mentioned. I'm at University of Pennsylvania. I'm an infectious disease physician and a pharmacoepidemiologist. So my perspectives are sort of coming at both, but I'm also given the perspective as an ISPE member and a member of the board. So briefly, in the 10 minutes that I've been allotted, I just want to go through with you sort of my thoughts about what is a mentor, why we should have mentors, what are the ideal qualities of a mentor, and I think importantly for all of you, how do you find and select what's the ideal mentor for you, and what are your responsibilities as a mentee that could really enhance the productivity and the relationship between a mentor and yourself as the mentee. I think one of the things that you should realize is that no matter what stage of your career you're at, whether it's early, mid-career, or late, if you want to achieve your goals, you really can't do it alone. I think this cartoon really, you want to climb the mountain, you really need a team. And it does, take a village to do that. And having successful people around you to help elevate you is really, I think, crucial to career satisfaction and success. Emily sort of suggested that, we're going to talk about what is a mentor. I think for each of you, mentorship may mean different things, and the visualization of what a mentor and a mentee should be and that relationship may be different. I think to me, a mentor is someone who should be trusted to guide you, to educate you, but to also to encourage you, to support your development towards both short-term and long-term, both career as well as life goals and help you to maintain a balance between work and life. They should hopefully teach you values and skills to navigate your organization, your institution successfully. And they should be able to help you take calculated risks. I think innovation really occurs at the intersection between disciplines, and they can help to push you in that direction and really help you take some risks that could ultimately, lead to breakthroughs, not only in your research, your career, but potentially your life. I think mentors are important to promote your career satisfaction, to facilitate your advancement, but also, and I think really importantly, to aid both your professional and your personal development. They could help foster your work productivity, your research productivity, and when you're faced with different career choices, they could provide valuable perspectives to assist in what paths you really should proceed in next. This cartoon lists to me what I think are some key broad ideal qualities of a mentor. I think, certainly admirable characteristics, that's really very personal, whether it's generosity of time, whether it's collegiality, patience, humor, you're each going to have what you think should be some set of characteristics. And that's what the mentor and mentee together will carry into their relationship. I think there has to be some aspect of an ideal mentor providing you with valuable career guidance. And, Emily mentioned this, it's not just reading a paper or, editing your CV. It's a whole set of skills that the mentor will have to ultimately help you. I think that the mentor, and I've listed this sort of broadly in this table, the mentor will help you create a plan, to provide a vision for your career, to help you set standards, to create and prioritize the aspects of that career plan and give you perspectives so you could succeed towards achieving your short and long-term goals. I think the mentor should tailor their advice to the mentee, should be able to assess her or his needs, to allow them to take risks, potentially to fail, but to help them to get back up, to draw out the best in those individuals so that they can find their way toward their own personal success. Mentors should be able to provide opportunities, whether that be contact, leadership positions in their organizations or related societies like ISPE, aiding their own career promotion, and helping the mentees to get recognition. And then they should help in addition the concrete activities, whether that's helping to get research for a PhD, planning and carrying out studies, writing grants, writing manuscripts, giving advice on presentations at meetings, or even such mundane things as reviewing their curriculum vitae and giving advice on ways to better improve it. I think the other thing that other qualities that mentors need to have are time commitment. They should provide a frequency, availability, the duration, the quality of time that is needed to allow the mentee to succeed, both scheduled and unscheduled. I think they need to be able to support work-life balance. I think an ideal mentor should be able to help you to maximize your success by integrating both your professional and with your personal life, to provide guidance on leading a fulfilled life at home, and to provide support during periods of stress. And hopefully the ideal mentor will have a legacy of mentoring, that they have fostered a culture for you as a mentee to emulate and to perhaps create your own culture when ultimately you become a mentor for someone else. So how do you find and select the right mentor for you? I think certainly broadly having mutual interests, maybe having a mutual research area is valuable. That individual's potential as a role model should be important. I think the mentor's record is important. What is their track record of mentoring individuals? How many have they mentored? Have those individuals been successful? I think it's sometimes valuable to have, if you're interested in potentially being mentored by someone, go and talk to their trainees, their mentees, and say, hey, how's your relationship? Has it been successful? And, as an academician, I often suggest to trainees, review your potential prospective mentor's CV, see what kind of research they've done, see what productivity they've had, what grants have they written, and what kind of publications have they written, and particularly with mentees as first authors, abstracts and papers, to see, is there a track record of good productivity for those mentees. You want to make sure that that individual, whoever is mentoring you, is going to have available time. And then lastly, very personally, is an issue of chemistry. Do you feel that there is a connection between you as a mentee and a mentor after your first meeting? Much of what you read in the literature about mentorship, it's often focused on one individual, the mentor, the mentee. But I would at least invite you to consider having potentially multiple mentors. You may want to have a mentor in whatever content area, be it, let's say, cancer, or perhaps methods of, propensity scores, let's say. You may want to have somebody who's specifically in research, a research mentor who's maybe your doctoral thesis advisor, or, this is somebody who has specific expertise in marginal structural modeling analysis. And then, you may be at a point in your career where you're going to take a leadership position. Having an administrative mentor to give you advice is valuable. And then I always think just having someone who has no skin in the game except wanting to help you as a life mentor is really valuable, to help make sure that, you are prioritizing, your personal priorities in the right way. Emily showed that the membership committee over the past several years has really spent considerable time in trying to provide a valuable program with which to mentor early stage pharmacoepidemiologists or pharmacoepidemiologists who are new to the society. And they've created this page. She showed you, it's on the Get Involved page. After you log in through your ISPE exchange, you could go to the Get Involved menu, and you'll see that there is a mentor match underneath. And you can select, I want to enroll as a mentee. And then you can go and you can look at a whole host of the available, I think there's over 100 that she showed now, or over 50 mentors who are currently available. And you can look at, what region of the world, what sector, what areas of interest, databases, cancer epi, methods, etc. And then, you sort of could reach out. Typically, an email is sent after that. And then, you can Skype, Zoom, Blue Jeans, whatever platform that you use. And I mean, I did this, I had my first about a year ago, a young PhD student from Spain, and just wanted advice on how to select, next positions for jobs, how to actually sort of, when you're doing your job talks, how do you sort of package things that you've done so that you can demonstrate your productivity and what you're interested in. And I always love to learn from, people who are at early stages of their career thinking. And for me personally, as a mentor, that's always really enriched my own career. All right. I want to just conclude with, what do I think are the responsibilities for you guys as mentees that could really enhance the productivity of your relationship between your mentor and your mentee? I think it's crucial that you schedule, and I bolded this in red, regular meetings with your mentor, regular meetings to request periodic evaluations, regular meetings to review how you're spending time. What are you doing that you really enjoy? Do more of. What are you doing that you don't like? Do less of, so that you could really tailor and be intentional about what your priorities are, both professionally and personally, and try to achieve that. You have to have a vision in your head of what it is that you want. So often I see mentees come in and they're very diffuse and they really haven't taken the time to say, what do I want in my career? And then sort of think, how can I work back to achieve that? So think about the things that interest you and discuss your goals and discuss your I want to talk about that for a second. It's important to set goals, set short-term goals, set long-term goals, set professional as well as personal goals. They should be specific. They should be measurable. In ISPE, as we're charting our own strategic plan, you know, the executive committee and the board and the strategic plan has asked the committees to create SMART goals, goals that are measurable within timelines. Use those goals to monitor your progress. I think that's really crucial. Okay, so we talked about scheduling regular meetings with your mentor. Then you have to go about performing your work under the guidance of that mentor. And that may be, you know, research, that may be other various activities. I always think it's valuable to be upfront and clear with everybody about their roles. So you know who's going to be first author, who's going to be senior author, who's going to be second author, how's credit for work going to ensue, to ensure that there are clear lines of demarcation. I think you should regularly review your results, request feedback. You know, for my doctoral and master students, we make sure we have regular meetings, sometimes just with me, but sometimes with the entire team on a regular basis. So everybody is continually engaged and knows the progress that the mentee is making on her or his research. I think it's always important to be honest. Be honest about your goals, be honest about what you want, and things may change over time. It's okay to terminate a relationship that just isn't working. Thank that individual for their mentorship and move on. If the connection just isn't there, they don't really feel like they have the time. Ultimately, I would just say it's crucial for you to be the driver of your own career and you to be the driver of your mentor-mentee relationships. Throughout these slides, I've had some, I put in the bottom corners some papers that I've gotten some information from to make this. I put some of those key papers on here. You could read more to hopefully enhance your own mentor-mentee relationships. And I'll just end by summarizing. I hope you feel that I've given you evidence that mentors are crucial for your career and life success. And you need to identify the qualities in mentors that are most important to you. I think it's helpful to review a prospective mentor's track record. I think it's okay to select more than one mentor depending on your needs. And you need to manage up as the mentee. You need to be proactive with your mentor. Set meeting agendas in advance of meetings. Set those goals for you to be able to get the most out of any mentor-mentee relationship. I want to thank Emily, Chris, the entire membership committee for inviting me to talk before you. ISPE is a wonderful society, and I think it's a great opportunity. This is a great opportunity for you to spread your wings and get mentorship in a different way. Thanks, everybody.
Okay, Till. We're now moving to Till, and are you able to share your screen?
Wow, what a difficult act to follow. Couldn't agree more with everything Vin has said, and I just now realized that I may have been a little bit off base preparing my slides, but which is a good thing, because otherwise I would probably have repeated a lot what Vin has said, and which is really fantastic overview. So the title about the pearls was not chosen by me, so I started adapting some slides from a pre-conference course on establishing a successful early stage career in pharmacoepidemiology. And I think I'm going to go quickly through these and then have one slide on my thoughts on mentoring specifically that I think we can spend more time on. The name and accent is German. I grew up in Switzerland. I also am an MD and went to to epidemiology and then pharmacoepidemiology later in my career. Have been in academic settings both in Europe and the US since 2003. So these slides, and I go quickly through them, are adapted from Jenny Lund, who has been a student at in the pharmacoepi program at the University of North Carolina, and has made a successful academic career, is now associate professor in the department. And so these are the bullet points that she came up with. Get funding, assemble a mentoring team, that's what we are talking about today, build collaborations and networks, enroll in professional development course, make sure you have access to data resources, engage students in your research, identify good opportunities, get involved in professional societies, stay healthy and have fun. And you already realize that there is a lot of overlap with what Vin has said, and mentors can help you with any of these points. And I just picked a few out here, more related to mentoring. Assemble a mentoring team, and Vin has already mentioned that it shouldn't be just one person. They do not have to be directly in your field. So think about getting someone in your field and maybe one or two outside of the field. Meet informally, but at least once per year to discuss progress, reality checks, and as was already mentioned by Vin as well. Use as a sounding board for ideas, grant strategies, etc. Establish regular meetings, already said. Enroll in a professional development course. There are, if you're in a university setting, at least there are courses out there for junior faculty. And so that has the advantage of you learning some of the tools that you need to succeed in academia. But it also gets you in contact with people who are at a similar stage of your career outside of your specific field. And I think that can only be helpful. Identify good opportunities, already mentioned by Vin. Identify people that you would like to work with. So that's also something important. And then get involved in professional societies. And here, obviously, ISPE is really a home for, has been a home for many of us who are now have the mentor in their title. And this is the final slide. Stay healthy and have fun. Make time for exercise, get outside, make time for happy hours and get-togethers with colleagues outside of office hours. Essentially all the water cooler talk and all that stuff that we haven't done for the last 12 months now, and that I'm really looking forward to. So this is my last slide, just some thoughts on mentors. Mentors play an important role for your entire professional life. And I think that this is just reiterating what Win said. It's about writing letters, introducing you to people, and they are needed when, and this is not an if, when you hit a wall. I mean, everyone will hit a wall at some stage of their career. And that's where having a mentor becomes really essential. Whereas otherwise it might be helpful, but you might also be able to do it without a mentor. But when you hit a wall, you need a mentor. You need someone who knows you, who understands what you are saying, what's not working out, and can give you tips there. Be aware of cohort effects. I mean, the Vin had the Karate Kid there. I have done karate earlier in my life, and the sensei is essentially someone who just walked in your shoes before you. The problem here is that we all grew up in a system that doesn't exist anymore. So be aware that things are changing, and that what worked for your mentor might not work for you anymore. And this is a difficult thing, because obviously the mentor's experience with early stage career is usually decades ago. diversify outside of your institution or even the field. And this is something that Vin also mentioned, and I totally agree with that point. You have to realize that mentors within your institution will always have a conflict of interests in some way or other. And you should check whether your mentor says, I'm now putting on my mentor hat, or I'm putting on my PI hat, or I'm putting on my whatever hat. So look out for these things. And if that's not mentioned, then be careful, because these conflicts of interest exist. And if your mentor is not aware of them or is not explicit about them, that may be a problem. And then finally, be willing to share non-professional things with your mentor. And that goes both directions, obviously. This is important to build a relationship, and you will want to build a relationship with your mentor. And as Vin pointed out, that this will not always work, and then you need to find another person. It will usually work, but not always. This is an important point to realize, and if it doesn't, then find another mentor. So that's the end of my slides, and I hope I made up some time here. Stop sharing.
Thank you, Till. And I will say that I'm the person that gave Till the title for his talk. So you can blame me, but I will say that Till has provided mentorship to me in my graduate program, and always has great advice. And that last slide, I think, provides a lot of insight into how to navigate your mentor-mentee relationship. So thank you, Till. I definitely gave you a blank screen for what to talk on, and I appreciate that, and I know everyone else.